I had quite a few people leave comments on my video yesterday saying, Jay, we're sick and tired of Candy Owens. Can you please do more about Nick Fuentes? And I have listened to you because I am also sick and tired of Candy Owens and her nonsense. But I wanted to make a video because Nick Fuentes is obviously in the news, or was in the news this week, because Tucker Carlson decided to platform him. And I feel like the news goes so quick, doesn't it? Like, one day from the next, it is just constantly changing. People are outraged over one thing for a very short period of time, and then they move on to the next thing. It's just like constantly you're being fed all this rage bait. And I want to go back to Tucker Carlson's decision to platform Nick Fuentes and have the conversation that he did have with him. And I think loads of people are going to try and, push Nick Fuentes out to the forefront at the moment, even though he's like a very young individual and his views are quite hateful and they need to, be discarded or pretty much taken with a fine-tooth comb and not really taken too seriously, because the vast majority of things that he says is disgusting and wrong, but I'm not afraid that he's right at all, which is what loads of people on the right were saying. Apparently, I'm afraid that Nick Fuentes is actually right, so that's why I'm against him. No, he's wrong. That's why I'm against him. It's clear as day how and why he's wrong. Just so you're aware, anyone with a brain, a functioning, healthy brain, can tell. And if you are obviously following the word of God, you can tell quite distinctly what he is saying is wrong. And it does damage to the conservative movement, to Christianity as a whole, just so you're aware of that. But I know there's lots of people out there that say they love Nick Fuentes and all that sort of stuff. You know who didn't love Nick Fuentes? Charlie Kirk. You know, he called him a vermin. Any reason why that's the case? Well, I found this video thanks to Nathan Livingston and Milk Bar TV, who once again does brilliant work. You can follow him over on X. Charlie Kirk to a Nick Fuentes groiper. You, sir, and your ideology is not conservative. It is right-wing identitarianism, or whatever it's called. It has no place in the conservative movement. Oh, man, I do miss Charlie Kirk, and I really do wish that he was still alive today, because we're missing his voice. It's like Tucker waited not long after Charlie's death, to platform someone he knew that he hated. Now, obviously, Tucker can do whatever he wants with his own platform, but this is the same person that is sharing Charlie's stage. I think we need to definitely draw a line in the sand and say enough is enough, right? At the very least. Anyway, have a watch of what Charlie Kirk had to say about Nick Fuentes and his groiper base.
I want to ask a question of you. What does it mean to be an American? Is it an idea or a history, a shared history, or is it a skin color?
Well, I mean, you could go back to the original founding fathers, the Immigration Act of, I believe it was.
What does it mean to be an American? Is it a skin color or something else?
So there's the current idea of what it means according to, the Hart-Celler Immigration Act and, all this bullshit that you guys spew. But if you go back to the original founding fathers, they intended this to be a European nation for white men of good stock and character. Yeah.
So, can you show me? Let me answer the question. Can you show me where in the United States Constitution it says that?
It wasn't in the Constitution.
It wasn't in the Constitution because they didn't believe it.
The founding.
You, sir, they did not put it in the United States Constitution. Let me answer another question. Let me ask you another question, since you support. Allow him to have the mic. Let me ask you another question,
founding
sir.
Fathers wrote many
what
other
does the
documents
phrase,
other than the United
sir,
States Constitution, and they made it
sir,
explicitly clear. That
what does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean? What does the phrase "e pluribus unum" mean?
Why is that relevant?
Because it was on every founding document and presidential seal from our founding, which means out of many, one. You, sir, and your ideology is not conservative. It is right-wing, identitarian. It has no place in the conservative movement, my friend. Get out of line. Get out of line. USA, 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 USA.
So for all those people that are calling Charlie Kirk a horrendous racist, there is your answer. Wasn't racist in the slightest. You know who is racist, though? Nick Fuentes. You know who wants a white-only America? Nick Fuentes. You know who is a Nazi lover? Nick Fuentes. You know who is a Hitler apologist? Nick Fuentes. You know who said that Hitler was a good guy? Nick Fuentes. You know who sees Stalin as a good guy as well? Nick Fuentes. You know who actually loathes and despises women? Nick Fuentes. The way he speaks about them. So you tell me, why should we be platforming, especially the conservative movement? Why should we be platforming someone like Nick Fuentes and saying, guys, this is now the new conservatism. This is now the new conservative movement. This young man speaks truth. No. If Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes and what they're saying is supposedly the new version of conservatism, I want no part of it. I'm out. I will stick to what I believe to be conservatism. I will stick to what Charlie Kirk used to preach and teach. I will stick to the word of God. Thank you very much. I will speak to the fact that we should not be racist. It does not matter about the color of our skin, but yet so many people worry about the color of our skin. And sure, I know that not all cultures are equal. And I know there are bad individuals in every single culture. It's more a human problem than a skin problem, just so you're aware. So anyone that says, oh, Nick is right, I encourage you to look at what the word of God says first, what God has to say. Or I encourage you to listen to someone that actually has brains or used to have. I mean, he still has power. He still has brains today because his message is being spread far and wide, and that's Charlie Kirk. But just because he's no longer here doesn't mean that his impact is not still felt. So Charlie hated these I can't even say the word. He hated these ideological narratives that try to change conservatism to something else, something that's not. Bad faith actors, the wolves in the henhouse. And unfortunately, the biggest podcasters in conservatism right now are trying to change it. Not on my watch, even though I've got a small-ish audience. Anyway, that's enough from me, but you guys take care, be blessed, and I'll see you all in the next video.